for a man to be involved in something that is largely seen as a woman's problem, and to discard all the taboos that there are around menstruation, especially in India, where women in certain parts are segregated. You're not even allowed to be, go into the kitchen when you have your period. You're not allowed to go to the temple for sure. And for him, coming from this conservative background, to let go of all his conditioning and get out there and decide that I want to make a low-cost sanitary pad, and then finally succeed despite so much opposition and hurdles, I thought was a remarkable story.
The taboos, surrounding menstrual health, menstruation, sanitary napkins, tampons. It's just, it's almost, it's absurd.
I don't recall seeing a movie about menstruation or even really seeing a sanitary pad in a Hollywood film. So again, when we decided to make this film, surprisingly, considering that we probably are a little more conservative than Hollywood, nobody hesitated. It's relevant to what's happening today. It's relevant to what voices are saying all around the globe.
10 years down the line, everybody wants to be a part of that movement. It's what all the cool people are doing. So, I think it's amazing that from it being uncool, it suddenly became very, very cool. The way the industry is already wired is that the kind of films that the male superstars are doing bring in that kind of money. So they have a right to ask for that kind of money right now, just because it's a patriarchal way of looking at things. But like if, for example, I'm in a situation where obviously because I have a safety net, I can be like, I'm not doing this film if you're not giving me the kind of money that I deserve. But a lot of women are not in that position, unfortunately, because they need the money, or they need to kind of run their house, and they need to work. So there is a certain, we're trudging along and we're trying our very, very best. So let's see how it works.
I grew up, watching this whole thing. And when I was a young actress, things have rapidly changed from then to now. It's a more pleasant environment to work in for a woman. But I've really seen that evolution happening. And when you talk about periods and things like that, as a young actress, I remember that I had my period and I had to do a rain song, a song in the rain. And I don't know whether tampons existed. I'm not sure. At least I didn't have access to them. And rather than going up to the producer and saying, I can't come because I have this problem, I told him I have diarrhea. It was less embarrassing to have diarrhea than to have your period. So I guess even in that manner, as I can see that, we are getting more open about these things. And this, coming from those days to this, is a huge step.
The casting couch is a huge problem in
I'm sure it's a huge problem. But I don't think people talk about it.
It's not, I mean, honestly, I don't even think, it's very strange, but I don't even think women think that it's an issue in India. Because of the way we subconsciously taught to think that, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost, do you agree with this or not, Tina?
Yeah, but again, it's conditioning.
Yeah, it's conditioning. That's what I'm saying. We don't even.
We've been taught sort of, if somebody says something to you, which is, sort of
you're doing something wrong.
Insinuation, then you should just laugh it off and pretend you're dumb. You can't, the dumber you act, the better it is. Even what's happening in Hollywood may not completely reflect in what's happening here, where women are going to speak up, maybe not immediately, but you can see that mindsets are changing. And, I think that even men are aware of what's happening globally.
We have women who are leaders in our country who'd be like, a woman got like eve teased or raped or molested, and she'd be like, what was she wearing? She invited it. You understand what I'm saying? So that kind of mindset still exists in most of India. Some of the most powerful people in our country are women. We worship goddesses, but at the same time, there is this way of looking at women which is, oh, they're not as good as men.